Yeah, no. I'm with you 100%. Listen, first of all, I want to get started because we have Jennifer Beal with us, and she only has a few moments. So before we get too crazy here, I just want to say thank you everybody for joining us for morning coffee with me today, and of course, just a few announcements today. Right after we have morning coffee, we have our work group lounge for members. Today, Lindsay is going to be heading up our discussion when to let them go. That's the discussion today. When is it time to just let them go? All right. So if you want to stick around afterwards, then please
do, because I wrote a huge novel for that one.
Did you? So. Oh man, I'm sure it's going to be very exciting. All right. Second of all, today Sherry Lozier is doing our business builder mastermind at 1:00 today, folks. Information for that is on the website at thisgreatcity.com. And it's still like one of the least expensive business builder masterminds that I know of. Okay, so it's $25 for members, non-members is $75, and that's for the 2 sessions per month. It's absolutely great. Then Tuesday at 10:00 until noon, I'm still doing the open door. If you'd like, anybody who has any questions about anything to do with This Great City or marketing or anything else, open door. The link is on the website. Come on in and join me, and we can have that discussion. And that's that's tomorrow from 10:00 until noon. Wednesday morning at 9 a.m., Stephanie Hutchins-White is running Wise Gals. I don't know if Stephanie's here. Stephanie, are you here? Oh, there you are. Good seeing you, Stephanie. So that's Wise Gals. The link is going to be live today because we're going to have that conversation to figure out how it's a little broken. But thank you for that. That is a Clubhouse event. So the link is on the calendar on the website. That is Wednesday. Investing Club with Stephen Lee is at 9:00. 8:00 p.m. Wednesday night. Lots of fun, man. We go deep with Stephen, right? And then, of course, 9:30 on Thursday, we have, of course, Tech Talk with Catherine Davies. Catherine, what's up on Thursday?
It's a catch-up week. Find out all the juicy stuff that's been going on in the last couple of weeks.
I love it. Okay. Always exciting. Okay. Thank you so much. And folks, I want to go ahead and introduce Jennifer Beal. You know, most folks that have been out in the world of networking have heard her name floated around. So I'm going to let Jennifer introduce herself. She has like 12 minutes now that I've been talking for 5. Anyway, go ahead, Jennifer.
I have like 10. Look, this week is my summer networking bash. I've been doing it for 17 years. I used to do it live. Now we're doing it virtual. And that's why I can't stay with you. I love this. I got my coffee and you do this Monday morning coffee chat. I know the power of getting together first thing in the week. I totally get it. And so it's really great to be here with all of you. And I'm seeing some familiar faces as well. I haven't seen you during COVID, so it's really good to see you here. And thank you, Ivan. We had this amazing conversation last week. And Ivan was just like, could you come in? Can you, talk a little bit about it? And my summer event this week. We're doing some networking this morning and you're here, so you won't be there. But on Wednesday, we're doing this really special thing on thought leadership. And is it okay if I share a screen? Can I?
Of course, yeah, please. I'll give you
because I know some of you are leading these groups and, some of you are real leaders, some of you are real thought leaders. I want to show you something that I kind of discovered and what we're going to be doing well, it's for both today and for Friday. And why that's so great. So I can share my screen now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is part of a presentation I'm about to make. So make sure I get it from here. So I work with, first off, just so you know a little bit about me, I have helped hundreds of business owners earn tens of millions of dollars just by connecting them to one another. And nothing makes me happier. For example, last week, one of my associates, I referred $60,000 worth of business to him. And so this is routine for me. I helped somebody make $110,000 in May just from referrals that I gave to them. So it's really powerful. But anyhow, this is kind of what I realized is going on. And you got to agree, we got to do marketing, right? Everybody needs to be out there marketing, and you got to get out in front of as many of your ideal clients as you possibly can. You need that visibility, but it's very passive and it's very time consuming. But I want to point out something. You don't do marketing for sales. You do marketing for visibility. And at best, you're going to get some warm leads, but mostly these are just cold leads. You might be collecting, building a list from it. You may get some orders. Okay. And it's going to be maybe like 1% closing rate at best on your marketing. You will get some sales, but don't rely on this. I see far too many people spending way too much time here. And I call this cold traffic. This is like being in rush hour traffic, going from downtown Toronto to Hamilton, in the afternoon where everybody's going the same speed. Are you wondering why you're not making money? If you're hanging out with other people going really slow, they can't make decisions fast. They're not moving. You want to get on the 407. And how you do that, you can get a sales process. You want to get a sales process going and start making money. You can take these cold leads, you can warm them up and close them as clients, which would be really great. And you should be able, if you get a really good sales process going on in your marketing, you should be able to close 15% of the warm leads that you get. This is dramatically different. So if you're going to just do marketing, you got to throw a sales process on it. But here's where it gets really exciting, and that is networking. I don't do any marketing. I just do connections with people. And 20 years ago, when I started my company, 100% networking, I took my business from 0 to 6 figures in less than 6 months. So this is the power of networking. You go out, you meet a whole bunch of people, very proactive, but it's very time consuming. To make 6 figures, I had to go out 6, 7, 8 times per week, 8 different meetings to meet people. But I had the control. It was proactive. And I was just finding warm and hot prospects. Cold could just stay where it was. I would just, meet those people. It was nice, but move on. 40% closing rate. This is the kind of stuff networking does. And that's what should be happening for you in this group. That's the potential that can be going on in here if you just focus on these. And I call this hot traffic. Hot traffic is way better than cold traffic. I think you're already agreeing. But here's where it gets even better, referrals. And as I told you, I'm referring out business, big deals to people all the time. And this can be passive or proactive depending on who your referral partners are. If you've got good ones that qualify for you and you're building relationships and you're staying in touch, very proactive. If you're sitting back and wondering why these people aren't sending you referrals, that's too passive. You got to get out of that, and you got to be building relationships with your partners. You got to be a great partner to get referrals. Very time efficient. And that's why I created my 10% referral club. And that's where I'm going as soon as I'm done with you. 60% closing rate or more. That stuff I sent last week to somebody, 60,000. One of those deals is almost closed 1 week later. It's well on its way. The other one, it's going to be committee sales. It's a little bit longer. He has to deal with more people. 60% of 60,000 is $36,000 from 2 referrals. This is crazy. Why are we doing this crazy marketing stuff? It doesn't make sense. And so that's hot traffic. And then you do strategic partnerships. When you get really good at this, it's more advanced. You're a collaborator. Why this works so great, it's very proactive and time efficient. But why it works so great is now you're just sharing clients. You are not sharing cold lists with people. You're just sharing, and you're coming in and you're finding ways to collaborate and work together and do amazing things together. 80% closing rate or higher. I'm not kidding you on this stuff. I do networking, referrals, and strategic partnerships almost 100%. And that's why I changed Summer Networking Bash this week. And that's why we're going to be doing something different on Wednesday. Because I'm going to tell you, when you take thought leadership, and by the way, some of your thought leaders, you're down there at the bottom. You're down here marketing. You're doing all this content creation and you're putting it out on social media and it's gone in an hour. 1% at best closing rate. Stop it. We're going to show you on Wednesday how you take thought leadership and you take it into your networking, you take it into your referrals and strategic partnerships. Thought leadership, you will make more money, bigger deals, more money in your business, and you'll be working with people who are doing that as well. And this is where things really start happening, and you stay out of that cold traffic jam, and you just stay in the hot traffic accelerator lanes. And that's what we're doing on Wednesday. So Ivan's coming on Wednesday because he's a major thought leader, and I'm really excited about it. And I came here this morning to see if any of you want to come as well. So are you a thought leader? And here, do you want to come in? This is a content-rich workshop. I've got I have Canada's top thought leader trainers coming in. He taught me in March some crazy stuff, which I love. And I asked him, will you come and do it for my summer event and just give it to the people that are around me for a day? 10 in the morning to 4 p.m. Eastern. We'll give you a workbook. You're going to get time to meet other thought leaders. You should see some of the people coming. Like they got 6-7 figure businesses, the people coming on Wednesday. If you want to hang out with them and you want to come in and you want to learn a strategy for thought leadership, that will tap into strategic partnerships, referrals, and networking like you've never seen before, then I've worked it out with Ivan. We're going to let you come as his guest. Okay, so there'll be no charge for you to come. You'll get the whole thing. I promise you, this is just content on Wednesday. It is not a sales pitch. We're not going to, at the end of the day, say you have to spend $5,000 to get more. It's a give. And why am I doing this? Because I lost my business when COVID came and I had to totally shift everything I'm doing. And now I'm a professional referral partner and it's working. And I want to support you. I want to support Ivan. I want to support this network. And I also know some of you are leading clubs, and I want to make sure that you're going to get the support that you need to really rise up and be seen as the expert that you are, the go-to person to do it. So if you want to come, I'm going to post the details here. Now, there's a link there that says register. You're not going to go and use that link. What you're going to do instead is you're going to email me. I am not giving you permission right now to put me on your email list, by the way. I'm going to give you my private email, jennifer@jenniferbeal.com. If you would like to come on Wednesday, you are available from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You are a thought leader and you want to rise up and you want to hang out with Ivan and me and about 100 other crazy, successful thought leaders on Wednesday. If this would make things better for you, then you can come as Ivan's guest. I've arranged that for them. But you have to email me and tell me that. And this is for thought leaders. And by the way, if you're an expert and you're not thinking thought leadership, but you want to make more money as an expert by going down this path, you can come too. So there.
Awesome. Thank you very, very much. If anybody has any questions for Jennifer, definitely ask now. I know she has to jump off, but folks, years ago, Teresa took me to my very first Jennifer Beal event. It was on my birthday, which is funny because this one is also in my birthday week, which is nice. So, and it was mind blowing how organized and amazing it was. So I highly endorse it.
We would love you to come. Listen, it's a free offer for you to come and hang out. This is a really slow month. I get that. It's August. Everybody seems to be at their cottage and nobody seems to want to be working. It's hard to reach people. But if you come on Wednesday, we're all action takers and we're all ambitious and we're all looking to be more successful. So leave it with you. It's up to you. Ivan, I will see you on Wednesday.
Yes.
It's delightful to meet you and I look forward to reconnecting with you on a day when I'm not so busy. I'll come have coffee chat with you again. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks. Thank you, Jennifer.
Quick question. No, she's gone.
Oh yes, gone. Sorry, but come on Wednesday because we're going to be down there and it's going to be a great time. There's some really amazing folks that are going to be down there as well. So I hope that you guys can take advantage of this. Listen, I'm an infomaniac, right? I love information. I love learning, and if nothing else, you come down and you soak up the energy and the information, then awesome, right? But I think it's going to be a blessing for everybody if you decide to go, and it's free. So come on down with me.
Jennifer's events are good. I've been to a few. I've been actually to person Summer Bash, and I've been to the virtual one. They're good, and I know the guy that I've seen the guy speaking. That it's Nikki something or other, and I know I've seen him. I've seen him speak before, and he's good. And the thing is too, with Ivan, that it's free. It's normally, I think, $47 at the early bird price because I get stuff from Jennifer, but it's normally $47 for the early bird price for Wednesday, and I think it's $197 would be the regular price. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, like that. So if you guys can get in for free, I know I'm going to go. So.
Is this a virtual?
I'll be honest. Jennifer's not even my favorite person, to be honest. But
yeah, she's
really good events.
Listen, the events are great, absolutely, and she's very focused. So
Is that a virtual
that's a good
event?
question. That's a good question, Catherine.
Okay.
I don't know. That's one of the questions I should have asked, but I will, and I'll let everybody know. All right.
Ivan, I just checked her link, and it's on the 11th. It's virtual.
It's virtual.
Yeah.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Those people that come in, they're different industries, I assume, and those are decision makers, or what's this?
That's another good question. I don't know. We had a conversation last week. Jennifer and I, we're pals on Facebook, but I haven't had a lot of opportunity to chat with her about the details of it. We had a really fast, the way that conversations go with me, folks, kind of electric and kind of crazy, right? That was our conversations, and then we set this thing up. So I really, I'd love to see you guys, hang out at this, because I think it'll be a good event. All right, listen. So with that, if you have any other questions, ask me in the lounge, or not in the lounge. I'm not going to be here, but definitely ask me afterwards, or send me a text, and I'll try and get the answers for you. Today, though, our conversation today is about keys to successful long-term relationships, and we're not talking about Bumble. Okay, we're not talking about dating. We're talking about business relationships. Okay, where are my coaches here? Okay, Linda's here, great, and Sherry's face is pictures there. But anyway, so we're going to talk about long-term relationships. And what do you think? If I were to say what are the key to long-term relationships, everybody's already got 3 or 4 answers that are in their head that they're certain about. What are they?
Two-way street.
Nice. Okay. Yes. That's good, Yuri. That's not usually the first one that people say. What's usually the first one that people say?
Trust.
Trust. Okay, trust. Absolutely.
Communication.
Communication, right?
Customer service.
Customer service, right? Trust. Yeah. So
You're talking about business relationship, not
business relationships. Yeah.
I mean,
How do you get long-term business relationships? Do you know?
Really good quality.
Do you know that business relationships are not much different than regular relationships, right? That in a relationship, if you've got a relationship where your partner has great experiences with you, you get nice road trips together, you prance on the beach, whatever, you sing karaoke together, all those nice, then they put up with a little bit of your moodiness, right? They put up with a little bit of your snoring, whatever it is, right? They just put up with more because they like the prancing, right? In business relationships, there are times when things may go sour, and if you build a good relationship, it weathers the storms. I mean, certainly, disrespect and crazy things. Maybe not, right? That doesn't survive many relationships, right? But if you manage it right, you can build a really strong relationship. So the first thing I put down here, I thought long and hard about this. What is the first thing about relationships that stands out to me when it comes to businesses? And the first one that came up was, it's about them. It's about them. It's about you, certainly, but it's about them. All right. So what I have written down here is we've heard it said the customer is always right. Right. So we build our businesses around user experience and customer satisfaction. These components are not independent of relationship building. Right. So determining their needs, their desired engagement frequency, even simple things like remembering their name, their partner's name, their children's name, even their pet's name. Right. That's kind of nice. Right. Because then when you're having the conversation with them, you actually care enough to know them, right? And it's amazing how much bandwidth and how much storage space, where's Thomas, is in our heads. We can actually remember the stuff, right? Especially if you build a relationship with them, right? So the first one is, it is about them. Now, how many people here think, no, it's not about them, it's about me? Anybody? Does anybody think it's about you?
It's about both, not just.
It's about both, but really, it's about them, right? But yeah, and I get you, but it's definitely where they have to be the priority, right? They have to be the priority. If in the relationship, some relationships. I actually read this morning, so I thought it was quite funny. Some relationships are about getting the other person to put you first, right?
As long as the other person thinks the same way. Because you can't do give or take.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's why I say it's certainly about you.
There's got to be a balance between, like you're saying, if you put them first, they got to put you first as well. So
Right,
it's,
right,
if,
right.
but that's why I said it has to be two-way relationship. So it has to be, well, respect, trust, and everything else, right? But and it depends depends what kind of relationship you have. If it's a business partner that you run in the company together, it's one thing. But if you have a referral, like Jennifer said, referral partner,
Mhm.
that's a totally different story, because you don't have many ties. It's just you're relying on that referral going back and forth, right?
Anybody else's thoughts on that?
I think it becomes a law of attraction, right? The more you give. And not, because not everybody's in the same position to refer as well. So I may not be able to get a lot of referrals. I can give more to one person, as opposed to it being a different relationship with another referral partner. So I think whatever you give, you're going to get back.
You know, and if you give, and you don't get back, at some point that relationship is going to end anyway. And it's not because of you; it's because of them. They're going to leave, right? So
Unless I think Jennifer's model is, from the peak that we get, it's a 10% referral fee, I assume.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you give, and you get 10% back, and you never get referral back, totally fine with me,
right, yeah. So
Still get
anybody's thoughts on what
compensated.
you're saying? I think that's a good point.
Well, that's
Uh,
where BNI failing. I've been with BNI, and this is I've sent out 15 referrals, 20 referrals. Like Jennifer said, maybe $200,000-$300,000 worth of referrals, and I got none. Well, sorry, but that's doesn't work that way, right?
But everybody
it's
knows
good.
that you're a good guy,
Sorry, but
right?
if I've got
Yeah.
$20,000 in fees, hey, I may stick around,
Right.
Ivan, it's Christiane. It's an interesting topic, actually. Sometimes it's not just referrals. The thing is that in building the business relationship, like for me, for example, with different hotels, right? They may refer their clients to me. I may very well refer a client. By the time they get to me, they've already picked their venue. So I may not be in a position to refer the hotel per se. However, what I would bring to the table is the good job that I do and the feedback that they get that say, hey, she at our hotel does this. And so I give them a good name based on the job I do for them. So it may not necessarily come, I guess my point is it doesn't necessarily come as a point of referral. It could be on how you do the job and how you're perceived by their clients.
Right. I have to say that we have a client in the States that sometimes I'm just not sure, where we stand. But we just keep putting out great products, great service, whatever, and and sometimes they don't even pay on time. Like sometimes they're late, like months. But we just keep providing service. It doesn't matter. We just keep providing service and keeping in touch, and then out of the blue we get a referral. It's like, what? You got a refer. So what I'm saying is, making it about them is really about you building a business and putting out there all the things that you want people to think about you. You are, you're dedicated, you're hardworking, you provide a great service, you're personable, and you're flexible, or whatever it is, right? And so that goes out there. And so when someone has a friend of theirs come to them and say, hey, I need somebody to build me a website, or who do you recommend? They'll think, you know what? I know you, and I know Ivan, and I know that you would probably have a better experience with him building it out than somebody else, or whatever it is, and so they refer it. Sometimes making it all about them, as long as you realize that you're still in business, right? Like you still have a responsibility to your business to grow your business, right? And to earn revenue. So it's about you. Because it's about you, I think you have to make it about them. So anyway, just think about that, because the next topic is about communication clarity, right? Communication clarity. So here it is. I remember a contract I signed with a production company years ago. This is back in the late 90s, right? It was brutal in its detail. I kind of was a little miffed, I think, when I first saw the contract because it was so detailed. It talked about how many hours they're going to work on the project. It talked about the number of hours for the project, the number of phone calls that I was going to get during the project, the time limit for each call, right? Although this engagement model isn't for everybody, the communication clarity was really appreciated because I knew exactly where I stood, right? So I think that sometimes we enter into things and we're not clear about it. And I'm guilty of this sometimes. We're not 100% clear about what is, and then that's where the problems come, right? So not only does it have to be about them, but we have to be really clear about and defining what it is that is happening here in our interaction, right? Because like personal relationships, right? The relationship itself is ongoing, but there are interactions that we have, and each interaction strengthens or weakens the relationship. So what we need to do is we need to be really clear on things so that people know where they stand with you and you need to know where you stand with them. What are your thoughts? I'm going to pick on Linda here. Go ahead, Linda. Communication clarity is a tough one for the young people, right? Right,
Yeah, yeah, you're right, because I'll send out contracts to my clients before they start, explaining all the details, but half the time they don't even send it back, or they don't respond, or they ignore it, whatever. But yeah, that's the young ones, it definitely.
Yeah, anyone else?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey, Nazir, how are you, man?
Good, thank you. Long time no see, everyone. Yeah, so I like the idea of defining clear expectations, right? So when we set limits in the beginning, the more things we can pre-identify, and whatever. I like to look at objections and follow-up questions when I'm sending out an outreach, and try to include as many answers in that initial statement, so that I can just speed things up. So, yeah, I like defining clear expectations.
Especially, folks that experience scope creep. For those that do production work, we all love scope creep, right? Where you say, okay, this is what I'm going to do for you, but you're not 100% defined and exactly, right? And then they add things. And next thing you know, in your mind and in your time, it goes from a $100 project to a $500 project. But because you didn't define it, it's awkward now to charge extra for it, right? So making sure that you are clear, and then that kind of weakens the relationship, kind of puts a stress on the relationship. So it's really important to be clear in your communication, right? I don't know if Sherry's there. Sherry, you there? Maybe
I
not.
sure am.
Okay,
Sorry.
jump in.
We're traveling today. We went to stay with some friends at a cottage, and we may have stayed longer than we expected. So we're literally on our way home now.
Nice.
So I apologize. So I'm sorry, I didn't hear what your question was.
The question was, were you barbecuing this weekend, Sherry? Only kidding. Just talking about communication and being able to clearly define what it is that you're looking at, what the scope of an agreement is, or to avoid stresses to the relationship.
Yeah, and I think one of the challenges that I quite often see is, what my perception of something is, and your perception, and Teresa's, and Tom's, and Christiane's, and Naz. Like, every one of us might take the same word and perceive it differently. If I said a few, how many is that to you? And if I said, well, here's my chocolate bar, you can have a few pieces, versus, there's 1,000 of those, you can have a few. How would you perceive that differently? And I think our language quite often leaves a lot of room for movement, and without really stringent clarity, some people take a lot more liberties than others do. And so I think that's a really important piece, especially when it comes to contracts. But I think that a lot of that can be resolved with healthy ability to talk through something that you see from a different angle. And so even when it comes to, oh, sorry, when I said a few pieces of my chocolate bar, I didn't mean half of it, or, whatever the case may be. The ability for us as adults, as, business people, to be able to sit down and say, sorry, this is what my understanding was, and I want to understand from your viewpoint what your expectations were or what your perception was. That's oftentimes where the conflict comes in. It's the differences in expectations.
Mhm.
So the more that we're capable of not only defining those expectations, which can be very outcome based rather than just the steps, and also good skills in those conversations, that makes a world of difference in being able to resolve. Because lots of times, even when you've had conflict but you've been able to resolve it, you recognize the strength of a relationship to
Right.
weather those conflicts.
Well, you know what, Sherry, when you say a few is always three to me. Three is a few. But when it comes to the chocolate bar, it's definitely half. I'm just saying. Throwing that out there. Anybody
Depending
else's
on whose
thoughts on
chocolate
that?
bar it is, right?
That's right. True. If it's Teresa's chocolate bar, it's like 3/4. That's a few pieces for me. All right. Anyone else's thoughts on that?
Well, just to,
Go ahead, Maggie.
well, I think Maggie was going to say something.
Oh, no, go ahead, Nazir.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So, yeah, just to follow up what she was saying, that, when we're doing a discovery call, listening is the most important part, right? So after, we allow them to say whatever they want to say, I think it's important to say it back, from what we heard, and to see, and just get them to commit to that is what they're communicating to, right? So
Right.
that way, you kind of hold them accountable and set the expectations all in the same breath.
Okay. So, the last point I have here, and I'm going to leave it open to you folks throwing in other things for strengthening relationships, is FaceTime. FaceTime is really important, right? FaceTime, not the app. It's just basically about getting in front of your client. And I'll tell you, one of the best things that I love about getting together with customers is, especially when you're able to go out and have a coffee, Catherine, on the patio at Williams. It's just a different thing, right? When we're just kind of chillaxing out there. I love it. Sometimes the client, I'll show up at, I have a client in West End of Toronto. We show up there, and then he talks about a restaurant that's around the corner. I'm thinking, okay, let's go. Chop, right? Nothing better than eating with a customer, right? Because the conversation it goes from business, and it always goes into strictly relationship building. All the other conversations that we have that are non-business, right? And so that's really, really important. And I gotta say, where there's a need, someone will always find a way to meet that need. Years ago, in order for me to go and have FaceTime with my customers in the States, it would be to get in my car and drive down to Texas or Florida or whatever it is, right? That's the way it worked, right? But today, we've all been conditioned, thanks to the technology that evolved before COVID, that was right on time, to be able to actually have these interactions. It was a little weird at the beginning, right? Getting together on Zoom. It was a little weird. It was kind of new and kind of exciting, but it felt intangible. It felt weird and awkward. But now it's a lot less weird and awkward, because now it's become part of the way that we do things. And now we can actually meet with customers, clients, prospects this way, and I've told you lately that I spent a lot of time on Shapper, which is the business networking app, and on Bumble Biz, right? Not Bumble, and so I love it because, most of the folks that I meet on Bumble or Shapper, I say, hey, let's meet on Zoom, because, that way, you're actually talking to that person, and you know exactly who they are. And they that interaction, I think, even if there's no connection on a business standpoint, I feel that there's definitely a connection, so that there's a referral person, or, I just expanded my referral network or whatever it is. How do you feel like for the folks that are shy, right? how many people still prefer the phone call than the Zoom call? Anybody prefer the phone call to
Well,
the Zoom?
I just never thought of doing a Zoom call meeting like this. You know, like I've always phone calls have been my go-to. I always tell everybody, all my, like referrals and, tentacles out there, I tell them, just get me a phone number and I'll take it from there. I don't care who it's at. Like I can start a conversation. I don't need to know who's on the other end, but it's nice when I do, so when I do, it makes it that much easier. But I mean, this is a good follow-up for sure.
How many people do the Zoom chats a lot? Okay, Yuri, how does it work with you in real estate?
Yeah, I think, well, when I'm meeting them for the first time, like Jennifer says, one of those, 100 leads and trying to convert that to 1%. If I'm going to do the phone call, nothing's going to happen. But if I, for the first time, or maybe first couple of times, but I got to put them a name to the face. I got to see, what the person looks like. They got to see me, that I'm a real person. I'm not someone calling from who knows where. And for the first time, I'm meeting them on at least, well, now I'd rather meet them in person.
Right.
But if that's not the case, then I prefer in the Zoom, and then phone call afterwards is totally fine. Like then, if I had to go for coffee with everybody to, Mississauga, Windsor, London, and so on and so forth, I would be. I wouldn't have time, period. But Zoom is perfect vehicle for me to meet those clients, especially on the mortgage side, where honestly, I don't need to meet the client in person because everything's done, on online, right?
Yeah.
But on the same token, and I'm coming to Mississauga, and so they tell me, oh, I have a bankruptcy and I have a judgment, or I'm still on parole. Like,
Right.
good luck, So what's the point of me Well, I had to explain it in person.
Oh.
No, I understand, So
You get it. Stephanie, you're going to say something.
Yeah, there's actually a thing in marketing about people when they see each other, right? When your eyes connect, and that's a huge thing in you see in print media. You'll see somebody looking at you, and that's a big factor. So I've always preferred Zoom calls over phone because I find that it's a two-way street then. Like you're actually connecting with the person, you're both leaning in, or you can tell from their body language what's going on. And you can tell from that more than just on the phone. And if you're trying to talk to somebody on the phone, you're leading the conversation and they're not part of it. Like you're asking the questions and they're just kind of giving you one-word answers sometimes. But on a Zoom call, they're going to give you more. You're going to have a better relationship, I find, on the Zoom call.
Actually, that's how I made my business model too, was making it off of doing Zoom calls, because I can do phone calls or in person or whatever, but it's a comfortability factor, like you said, Stephanie, of seeing someone's face, like 1000%. A lot of call centers now are actually adding a video function now to the situation because a lot of people aren't comfortable. Like I know there's some people that still call me and I'm like, I don't even care if you're with whoever, like, I don't trust this for 10 seconds, like, leave me alone, like, but if I'm like, I know that video software is definitely on the rise. I know a lot of I have a lot of friends at call centers who now have to have webcams on their computers at home now. Basically, it's something they have to have now. But I know that it's totally in the future of using video and stuff like that. Even like people like my mom had a client who was like, can we do it on Zoom instead of on the phone? Because like, I'm telling you my private stuff here. So like, yeah. I need to see a face here. And I agree. But like, also I like people seeing my face because then they can see like my genuine reactions and stuff like that. Like, but no, 1000%. I made my whole business model off of just having Google Meet meetings with all my clients, because phone call. Oh, sorry. Can I have that password again for your Instagram? No. Okay. I understand.
Think about all the communication that we do that is non-verbal, right? think about all the things that we pick up from each other, right? And I look around the room, I can actually tell who wants to speak just because you could see them kind of, right? And it's really kind of cool, right? Because it's intuitive. Imagine if this was a conference call like they used to have, where you're on the phone. How many people are doing something else, right? They're doing their nails, but here we are, and everyone, not me, but everyone here is looking at the camera pretty much, right? And everyone's engaged, and everyone's, having a conversation about it. There's something different about it. So when you're thinking about how to enhance relationships, right? We're talking about face to face. We're talking about, putting the customer first. We've all heard that before. We're talking about communication clarity. Is there anything else that you can think of? Of course, remembering to give Christmas gifts, and the Christmas gifts probably shouldn't have your logo on it. But anyway, just throwing that out there. But what are your thoughts? What else?
Well, I just want to say that I'm so glad I was present today of all days. Because it's really bringing everything together, right? Like, I have been lost in the metaverse, in the social drop-in audio space, and it's a very different dynamic. And I've been wanting to pull away from it, but I've been just so stuck there. But this whole conversation reminds me of, I haven't had many legit coaches in my life, and the one that I did have, he insisted every phone call would be a Zoom call. And he'll talk to me only just to say, okay, jump on Zoom, and and that's interesting. I mean, and I've been hearing about it a lot. We need to get back to this, looking into people's eyes to make that connection. And I love the fact that even in the print media, they're using that tactic, because there is no better way to develop trust than that, this face-to-face connection.
I remember last year, it was probably this time last year, Catherine, I was thinking about suggesting that people do the coffee call, right? Part of the sales training that we were talking about, do the coffee call. I love coffee calls. I do them all the time, right? In fact, today I have 3 of them lined up, one right after the other this morning, because I just find that it really enhances the connection that people have, because there's a little bit of brainstorming that happens in there. We're building excitement, and then people get excited, and they either refer business to me, or they give me business from their own businesses. But don't be afraid of it, right? Don't be afraid to connect. It's probably too late because someone's probably already doing it. But even the dating services, how many times? I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever used a dating app for dating, but if you've ever used a dating app, how many times do you wonder whether or not the person on the other end is actually the person in the picture, or whether that picture was from 25 years ago?
Well, you know what? I have a friend who is still in that space, and there's a dating app that I used to use called, Plenty of Fish, and now it is a whole video, streaming.
Really?
Platform. Yeah. So Plenty of Fish is all FaceTime. People don't even remember, the days of long ago. So
that's, there's something legitimate. It legitimizes it, right?
Mm.
I mean, they could still be fake, but you know what? Now you're seeing their face. It just makes things much, much more easy. Here's the last thing I'm going to tell you, and that is that, have you ever had a conversation with somebody that you met someplace, and you're just chatting them up, and then they ask you a question, and you wish that you had your laptop so you can pull up a screen? Here we are having a conversation on the phone, and then I think, oh man, I wish I could just show you this, because I'm trying to explain it to you, right? Hey, go to the website. Okay, what are you seeing on the page now? Okay, scroll down and click up. You know what? Let me just click the little share screen button here, and I'm just going to show it to you real fast, right? There's just so much more. It's like, people always say, Ivan, why do you think print media is dead? I said, because you can't click on it. You can't, you have to take another step to find it and click on, or type in. Just this way that we're doing things right now enables you to share links, to share everything in one space. This is a collaborative space right here, right? and it is powerful if you use it, for communicating and enhancing your relationship with your customers. Anybody's thoughts on that? Oh, here's a better question. How many people recognize their need to spend more time utilizing this tool in their business?
Are you talking Zoom or are you talking
Zoom? Any sort of video communication.
Well, can I jump in?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, when you talk on a phone, it's great. However, you cannot use it as a how do I put this? Well, you can't reuse it, right? When you do the Zoom, or better yet, YouTube video. I think there is a streaming at this point, right? So when you can use it as a resource, and you can use for passive income or for marketing, for anything else, right?
Zoom, yeah, Instagram Live is perfect for that.
Yeah, so you record your Zoom thing and you convert it to whatever, YouTube or something like that, or you actually then you take it, your Zoom session, take it to Loom, record whatever you think about it, to make a commentary, and here's your free resource, that you can use afterwards, right?
Right.
So
that's a good point.
To me, like people would rather see one time than hear 10 times. So it's visual is way better than anything else. So, but like I said, the point of it, when you when people doing YouTube videos and they do 3 videos and 5 videos and they go, oh yeah, I have 2 views, 3 views and 5 views, and they, oh, it's not working. And not true, because you got to put out 200 videos, 300 videos, like, I'm all of a sudden overnight success. Well, yeah, get overnight success, but sure,
right. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Catherine.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I would say 80% of my business is from an email, right? This is what I'm looking for. This is what I do. And I always knew if I can get in there, I'll keep them, because with my personality and showing that I care, we'll build that relationship. And you always hope that your contact person would be in the class, because then I could, again, press upon them, right? But if I can start switching that to say, can I set up a quick Zoom to ask a few questions instead of what I normally do on a phone call or email, maybe I can get that connection and get a better chance of getting in there.
Hey, Catherine, how does that first email sound?
I got to train my staff, and can you tell me what course and how much per person, and what's your lead time or availability for? And so I have to go, hey, thanks for contacting us. Can you tell me a little bit about your, do you go on Teams, or, because I've looked them up, and then I got to figure out what level they need and how many and all that other stuff, right? So if I can do that conversion instead of email into a quick video phone call, really, because that's what it is. I might be able to get that established sooner.
Okay.
Relationship.
So listen, folks, I love this conversation, and I'm hoping that we're going to think about the whole relationship thing more, building stronger relationships with our prospects and our customers, and then of course the last part, which we're not going to jump into right now, which is relationships with ex-customers, right? How do you maintain relationships, healthy ones, with ex-customers, former customers. So what I'd like to do is just chat a little bit now in the last 10 minutes, because I know that we're such a dynamic group, right, Stephanie? Such a dynamic group that we all have things going on. And I'd like to give us an opportunity, instead of telling each other about what we do, I'd just like to talk about what events do we have coming up that we can share with the group, so that the people here in the group can then jump onto our events. Okay, so we're going to start off with we're going to start off with anybody, by the way, have an event coming up over the next 2 weeks. Okay. Stephanie.
I'm leaning back, looking at my calendar.
Yeah, that's right.
So I have my Y Scouts clubhouse rooms every week. That's ongoing, and then I have a workshop coming up with This Great City on the 24th, and then in the women's club as well on that Thursday.
So can you give us a little teaser about the Wise Gals Club?
The Wise Gals Club, it's about integrative health, women's health. It's about listening to your body in order to figure out what's going on. So you have low energy, you have memory issues, you have bad sleep. All that means something to your health. And so we talk about, people come in and ask questions about, this is what I'm feeling. What do you think? What can I do to support my body to feel better?
Wonderful. That's amazing. Okay. So now I know we're going to fix that link that's on the calendar. So just want everybody to know that if you are interested in the events that Stephanie has, then please check the calendar because it's on there. I think it's on there for every Thursday, right? So
every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. And what time is it?
There's that room's there at 9 a.m. 9
a.m. Okay, great. Fantastic. Okay. Anyone else having events? I know that Lindsay, Maggie and I have, Lindsay, Maggie and I have the marketing series that's starting in September, which is very exciting, right? Because we will all be so rested that we're going to come back and just be on fire to share with everybody. Okay. So that's coming up. Please check the calendar for that as well. Is there anyone else that has events coming up?
I have an instructor's course coming in October, and I found the date too. I was doing the exact same thing as you, Stephanie. Where's those dates? So if you want to set your schedule and become a first aid instructor, you do not have to have a background, but are willing to learn. We have a 20-hour course October 22nd, so Friday evening, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Lots of training, networking, and we'll get you all set up for your own business.
Wonderful, wonderful. Anyone else?
I don't have one, but we can create one. I was thinking, we have, even through This Great City, there is an investment seminar, but there is no real estate investment.
So why don't let's do that, Yuri. I'm on with that 100%. Let's do it. Real estate investment, because I'll tell you something.
But never.
No, let's do it. Because as soon as you talk real estate investment, everyone's eyes perk up. Ding, right?
Yeah.
My husband must have spent an hour with Ivan Friday morning.
That's right.
Right, because my personal situation, doing all those different things, right? So yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm excited about it, Yuri. That's great.
The time that works for you guys, or I don't know, if we sort of piggyback on Steven's, attach another.
Yeah. Let's you know what, Yuri? Let's have a conversation sometime today and just nail it down. Yeah.
Well, I have 2 phone calls to make, and then I can jump on that.
The work group. Okay. You mean the work group lounge that we're having afterwards? Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. All right. Anyone else? Everyone that doesn't have an event, who wants to have an event, but you don't know what the event's going to be about, and you're a little shy to mention it right now, it's okay. Just reach out to me, right? Reach out to me. Don't be too shy, Maggie, Nazir, Thomas. Sheila, don't be too shy. I don't want to point you out. I don't want to but let me know, because I want you folks to think about utilizing this amazing tool called Zoom, and the fact that September psychologically is a rebirth month, right? January is one, but we always fail on our New Year's resolutions. But September seems to be the actual time when we actually do the things that we set out to do. So let's plan for September to be a growth month. Go ahead.
Today is the start of the new year in the Muslim calendar.
Oh,
wow! Happy New Year, man!
Oh,
nice.
I actually forgot that until you just mentioned the
Well, there you go. Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. So then,
So-
Nazir, then you should be planning to put together a nice, Zoom training of some sort for September.
Yeah, well, this I like, that you just threw that out there, because I have been, like in my little clubhouse journey, I've been coaching on fear, on how to overcome fear, and that whole startup journey from introvert to extrovert.
Wow.
So, and then, like I pivoted from teaching on crypto, that newbie journey from newbie to expert. So between those two things, if anybody is interested, then we can set up something like that.
Cool.
For either
let's-
one or both,
Do you know what? I think that's a great idea. So let's plan it. Let's do it.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, folks, we have 2 minutes left. Let me just go through the announcements again for the week, and of course, stick around because Lindsay is doing her lounge. Work group lounge, and of course, the topic again today is when to let them go. Very exciting. Then, of course, this afternoon, of course, at 1:00, we have Sherry Lozier's Business Builder Mastermind until 2:30. Then on Tuesday, Open Door avec moi until noon, from 10:00 until noon. Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Join Stephanie for her group, which you have to check the calendar on the site. The link will work in about an hour, okay? And then Wednesday night, we have Investing 2021 with Stephen Lee. Brilliant. And then Thursday morning with Catherine Davies. And by the way, with all the exciting tech, and if you haven't been paying attention, with all the exciting tech that's happening out there, I mean, we're sending people to the space station. Everyone's racing to Mars. We've got rich people going up into space. They call it space. That's just they're just going up high and then coming
Fights
back
between
down.
Bezos and Musk with NASA contracts, and
It's exciting. And I heard the news about Bezos and the other guy that tried to force NASA to split up their contracts. That was turned down. So that's very
NASA
exciting.
said,
The electric vehicles coming. I mean, just
Well, wasn't
It's
Russell
just
Brunson just in space?
sorry.
sorry,
Russell Brunson. Sorry.
Yes.
Richard Branson,
yeah,
he
Richard
was the
Branson.
first. He was the first of the 3 that went up.
That's right.
He beat all the young guys.
Yeah, he beat all
I
the
think the
young guys.
cutest too.
Right. Right. Don't.
On that
the
note,
seniors.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about
But
that.
it's exciting, right? So, folks, and of course, I'm back again next week, Monday, with morning coffee with me. So, thank you guys for coming today. I hope it was enjoyable, and I really appreciated the discussion. It was good. All right, everybody, have an amazing day. Take care. Thanks.